Hi everyone. This is example 2 from chapter 12 in the student packet. It says records show that 80% of students preparing for the high school equivalency exam need help in math, 70% need help in English, and 55% need work in both. If a student is randomly chosen, find the probability that the person needs help in math or English. So first it says use the general addition rule to find the probability that a randomly chosen student needs help in math or English. So the general addition rule says that the probability that a student needs help in math or English, I'm going to use M for math and E for English, is going to equal the probability that a student needs help in math plus the probability that the student needs help in English minus the probability that the student needs help in both. So from our information above, we know that the probability that a student needs help in math is 0.8. The probability that they need help in English is 0.7. And the probability that they need help in both is 0.55. I don't know why I put parentheses around that. When you make this calculation, you'll get 0.95. For part B, it says create a Venn diagram. So I drew 2 circles over here. We're going to let one circle represent the probability that a student needs help in math. So let's let that be the first one. And we know that everything within this circle should add up to 0.8 because that's the probability that the student needs help in math. The second circle will represent English, and the probability that a student needs help in English is 0.7. Now, where these circles overlap is where we represent the students that need help with both. So we know that 55% of students need help in both English and math. We want to fill in this Venn diagram by figuring out what percent of students only need help in math. So if the entire circle is 0.8, and we know that 0.55 students need help in both, we're going to take 0.8 minus 0.55, and we will get 0.25. We'll do the same thing with English. If we take 0.7 minus 0.55, we get 0.15, which means that this 0.15 is the percent of students, or the probability that a student only needs help in English. And the 0.25 is the probability that a student only needs help in math. Again, 0.55 is the probability that they need help in both. So we've created the Venn diagram. Let's answer part C. What's the probability that a student needs help in math but not English? That would be this 0.55. Sorry, 0.25, I misspoke. Now we're going to use the diagram to find the probability that a student needs help in math or English. Notice that we already answered this above using the general addition rule, but now let's try this with our diagram instead of the formula. So, or in mathematics means one or the other or both. So if we find the probability of a student only needing help in math, we can add that to the probability that they only need help in English, and add that to the probability that they need help in both. And if you'll see, if you'll take the 0.25 plus 0.15 plus 0.55, you again, just like in part A, get 0.95. Now it asks, what's the probability that a student doesn't need help in either subject? Well, these circles encompass everyone who needs help. And if they total 0.95, and we know that probabilities can only add up to 1, if we take 1 minus the 0.95, we will get the probability that a student doesn't need help in either subject. And in our diagram, we usually write that over in a corner. You'll know if you have your diagram correct if these four numbers add up to 1.